Today we're going to review a couple of concepts involving percents, just to re-emphasize that we know that the word means in the English language out of 100. Now, some of your problems will come in the form of a conversion, which means a change in the way the word or the number is written, just its form. And so it might say something like, convert 30% to a fraction in lowest terms. And even if a question doesn't have those final instructions in lowest terms or simplified, it still means that you as the student should put your fractions as simple as they can go, meaning the common number divides both into the top and the bottom until you can go no further. Okay, so this one, when you see something like this and you want to convert a percentage into a fraction, if I look at this breaking this apart in very small steps, this says 30%, which is translated to 30 out of 100. Okay, that happens immediately within your head. Okay, 30 out of 100 can be written as 30 out of 100. Now I look at that fraction, and you might very quickly recognize that there is a number, quite a big one, that will divide both into 30 and 100. If you don't, it's more trial and error, going through the numbers that you do know that would multiply to give you 30, and then trying those same numbers into the 100. Many of us can look at this and see that they both end in 0, therefore this number is divisible by 10. And so I'm going to divide by 10 on top and by 10 on the bottom. 30 divided by 10 will give me 3. 100 divided by 10 will give me 10. And 3/10 is my fraction in lowest terms. So we're going to try another one together. I'm going to go a little bit slower, allowing you some time to actually try and fill it in on your own before I get there. Okay, so the instruction is convert, that means change the form of the number, convert 82% to a fraction in lowest terms. $82 stays the same. The percentage sign, turn it into words. Out of 100. Next step, I therefore have 82 out of 100. That looks familiar to all of us. Next step is finding that common number as big as we can go. We're going to actually go a little bit backwards here. I want you to think of a number, a really small one, that'll go into both of those. It ends with 0. It ends with 2. Both of those are even numbers, so they are divisible by 2. Anything ending in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 will be divisible wholly by the number 2. So if we divide 82 by 2, divide it in half, we get 41. Do the same to the denominator, the bottom. 100 divided by 2 gives us 50. And we're talking here about equivalent fractions, okay? So we've got 41 divided by 50. Now we need to ask ourselves, Do we know any numbers that will go into both 41 and into 50? And so my trick the other day was, it's pretty quickly in our brains we can think of numbers that will give us 50. 1 and 50, 2 and 25, 5 and 10. What about 41? That one's not as readily available in our brain. But what does it end with? It ends with a 1. Think of all the times tables that are out there that end with a number being 1 in the 1 zone, in the 1's column. The first one I think of is 21. Well, what does 21 get made from? What multiples? 3 and 7. So I would try those right away. But before I do, I know it has to go into the bottom one as well. And is 3 or 7 going to divide evenly into 50? No. So you're done. One more. Ready? Convert 115% to a fraction in lowest terms. Okay? What do you notice about this one? Well, we notice right away that unlike our first two examples, it's greater than 100%. So, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take my number, and I'm going to turn the percentage sign into words. Percentage sign means out of 100. Does that make sense? Logical sense to us when we read it back. I have more than what it's out of. Sure, because I have more than 100%. Okay, what did we do last time? We took our number and we wrote it over 100. Now there's two different ways you can approach this one. We can go the other way that we did, dividing until we can't divide anymore. Or right away, we're going to make this smaller. Ask yourself, how many times does 100 go into the top number? It goes in one whole term. So I'm going to take 1 out. If I take 100 out of here, how many are left? 15. Still staying over the same denominator. What happens now? Now divide. Think of a number that'll go into both the 15 and the 100. I'll give you a hint. Think of nickels. If you have 15 cents, could you have that in your hand in nickels? How many nickels would you have? 3. If you had $1, 100 cents in your hand, how many nickels would that have to be? How many times does 5 go into 100? Very good, 20. And we're done.